All right, cool. We are live. How exciting. My name is Alex Winningham. And for those of you that don't know me, I am a health and wellness enthusiast with essential oils through doTERRA, as well as podcasting with Mind, Body, Soul, Lifestyle Tips with Alex, which you can see right there. So you can find that on iTunes, on Spotify, on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts or watch videos, you can find that, or right here on Facebook. And today I want to shed some light on the last week because it's been crazy. The last week has been crazy. Maybe if it hasn't been crazy for you, congratulations. But for me and a lot of people that I've been talking to, this last week has been absolutely nuts. And something that I like to blame crazy weeks on is full moons. I was in healthcare for 5 years, and I worked in the area that has people with memory loss. And when there was a full moon, we knew because people were it was crazy. Different things were happening there, and crazy things were happening. And so I'm not in senior care anymore, not directly anyways. And there was a full moon that happened over the weekend. And yeah, it was just intense. And so the last week has been crazy. It's been intense. And I just am coming on here to say that if you have felt like things have been emotional or things have been intense and there's a lot going on around you, you're not crazy. The week has just been crazy. So what I'm doing today is just really focusing on what do I have control over. So I'm also a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and I've been in there for almost 3 years. And one of the prayers that we say is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I'm going to back up a little bit, break that down. So God, grant me the serenity. God, higher power, universe, whatever that is to you is totally cool. But when you find yourself getting really overwhelmed with everything that might be going on around you, things that are going on in the world right now is very sad and intense, and a lot of diversity, a lot of judgment, a lot of stuff going on. So when you say, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, you're really asking, like, hey, what can I not change? Like, I can't change other people's behaviors. I can't change other people's attitudes. And with that comes this element of surrender and acceptance and being able to let go of what's out of our control, right? And then God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, right? This is important. The courage to change the things I can. The last week, I've not been really in a great space to be reaching out to people, to be asking if people would like to have a conversation around their health goals or what they're going through, or even checking in with customers or my team members. And it has been because I'm in a weird space and I'm like, I don't feel like reaching out. I don't want to do the work. And that is me making my life about me and not making my life about others, and looking outward to what we can do if we get into service, get out of self and get into service, and bam, life gets really good. And so when we ask for the courage to change the things that we can, those are things that are in our control. So if you are, wanting to drink more water, if you're wanting to lose weight, if you're wanting to meditate more, these are things I love talking about because they're things that have changed my life. Not exactly the losing weight part, still working on that, but working out, eating healthy, drinking a lot of water, taking my supplements, using my oils, meditating, talking to friends, reaching out, doing these kinds of things. Those are all in my control, and they're in your control as well. So having the courage to change the things that you can is so important. In fact, because I'm a recovering addict, I still suffer from the disease of addiction when it comes to caffeine, right? And so about 6 months ago, I was finally able to stop nicotine. So that was great. For those of you who don't know, yes, I used to smoke. I would do anything, whether it's a patch or a vape or whatever, to get nicotine into my system. And that was really hard to quit. That was really difficult to quit. Before that, I was an avid stoner. So 3 years ago, I stopped smoking weed and any drinking or anything like that. And that was pretty hard too. But man, nicotine's tough. And now I'm working on quitting caffeine and letting that go. And that's really difficult as well. but it's something that I have control over. And with caffeine, I have a hard time waking up in the morning, and I'm dependent on it, and I just don't like being dependent on it. And it's really not good for gut health. And to buy organic, non-acidic coffee is really expensive. And I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, just stop drinking coffee. So anyways, that's what I gave up earlier this week. Probably not the best week to do so, but it's within my control. So drinking more water and working on different things that I can do to help. And then the last one in that prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and then the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference. This is huge. The wisdom to know the difference between what is out of my control and what's inside of my control, right? And identifying that. So this more like another great example. I sold some jeans on Facebook. I normally don't sell anything. I don't sell clothes on Facebook. I usually use Poshmark to do that. And I haven't gotten paid by Facebook. I don't even know if this video will get shut down. I'm not trying to bash on Facebook at all, but I haven't gotten paid on it, and it's bugging me. And it's only $45, but I'm like, I really want them. They're like $1 billion industry. Like, they can pay me my $45 and getting all pissed off about it, but it's totally out of my control. So I wrote down, just, send Facebook. I've tried sending Facebook messages, but it never goes through. And I'm like, they're keeping my $45, those crooks, right? I can come up with all these stories in my head. But it's not the case. It's just out of my control. So I just got to release it. And what's interesting is that when we release things that are out of our control, they seem to come into our life in a different form and more easily. So letting go is huge. That whole surrendering and acceptance can be really, really beneficial for helping us get through really challenging weeks or really challenging days or really challenging situations. So again, this week has been insane. It's been crazy. Yesterday, I definitely felt a lot of, I don't know if depression is the right word, but like my brain couldn't focus. My thoughts were scattered. I'd even done yoga and I meditated. It wasn't working, which is really frustrating for me. So I'm like, I'm doing the things, but they're not working, because I like instant results. I like instant gratification. Those weren't working. So I'm like, you know what? I woke up today, it's a new day, and I'm practicing that serenity prayer. So if you find yourself caught in the midst of a crazy time or this crazy week, then, you might consider saying God or higher power or universe or the planet, energy, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, and see what happens, right? Just see what happens. Okay, this is, again, Alex Winningham. Please, if you resonate with this, if you have any tips for a community, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you do them on this episode, like in the comments, or you reach out individually. Definitely love conversations around this. And yeah, Travis and I are going, Travis is my son. We actually got offered to drive a friend's car down to Florida for a week. So we are leaving in a couple days to Florida. So I'm not sure how active I will be on any of the platforms that I share these messages on, but don't hesitate to reach out. And if you haven't yet, hop over to Mind, Body, Soul Lifestyle Tips with Alex on Facebook. And if you want to check out other videos that I've done, or you can go on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere where you have a podcast, and type in Mind, Body, Soul Lifestyle Tips with Alex. And you can check out interviews that I've done with people who are in the mind, body, soul space, as well as individual episodes that I've recorded for you that have to do with taking care of yourself, loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and others as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful